Welcome, welcome, welcome. WBBB Atlanta. You are here with truthbetoldpod.com. From what I hear, they're going to allow us to take this show. From what I hear, they're going to allow us to get on the air. So I would like to introduce the players. First off, the male model from Long Beach, Wolf Griffin, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, that is his government name.
How do you do? How do you do?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Long Beach Strong.
Yeah. Strong Island.
You know. Strong Island.
It's a very strong island. We're known for our ducks.
Do
you have any idea how hardcore that is?
And secondly, fresh into the country, Luis Hernandez.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, y'all. And I am your host. They have let me out. They have said it's okay to do this. I went to school and they said go ahead, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. My name is Scott Baker, and we are very pleased to be in front of you today, and we hope that you enjoy the show so much that you empty your bank account. We're going to start off our show the best way you usually can start off any day, talking about women. And our first segment is called That's What She Said. Now in this segment, we're going to explore, you know, I'm constantly around women, married women, single women, women in somewhat of a relationship, I guess that's what you want to call it. And some of the stuff that comes out of you ladies' mouths is just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Baffling.
Baffling. And we're gonna devote a segment in every show, just a few minutes, to discuss some of the statements that are actually said and never ever thought about. So our first character, our first study, if I will, we're going to call her Sarah.
Gotta love her. And
give you a quick backstory. Sarah is in a committed relationship to a degree. She's been with this man for, I believe, Lou, about 7 years?
About 7 years.
And they've recently purchased a home together now. There's no way we can give you all of Sarah's story in one show. This would be like a 4-hour show. So we're gonna introduce you to Sarah. We all work together, and Sarah is a manager at our job, and Sarah is one of the most colorful, most entertaining people you will ever meet. Shout out to you, Sarah, before we go in on you. And I don't know, man. Sarah and her boyfriend, we're going to call him Matt, they have had, since I've been working with her, which has been about almost 2 years, she has some of the most unbelievable stories, man. I mean, some of the things that go on in their relationship, I wouldn't even fathom dealing with a woman. Give us a little bit, Lou, because you've known Sarah longer than me.
Yeah, I've worked with her for 4 years now, and nothing really surprises me. If I could put it in a little capsule, you know, she's basically a churchgoer that goes to swingers clubs. That pretty much gives you an example of the contradiction that is Sarah.
Absolutely.
Apparently, they had an incident very recently where she, because she suffers from a great deal of physical health issues, she has put her in the hospital for lengthy periods of time recently. She turned to her boyfriend Matt and asked him, well, don't you care what happens to me? Because they've been having some difficulties in their relationship, and they were in the car at the time, and apparently he turned to her and said, I could care less about you, to paraphrase what he had to say.
7 years.
Let me, if I could clean it up. And, you know, happily she waited until the car was at a standstill, and she probably saved a few lives doing so,
including her own.
Including her own. So once they got out of the car in the driveway, she proceeded to lay hands on him. To put it kindly, she cut him, and the Gwinnett County, Georgia police were called. But Sarah had enough sense to leave the premises prior to the popo appearing at her driveway, and basically, they told her, you know, if he wanted to press charges, that he could, but if they continued to act this way, they were both going to go to jail. You know, long story short, they didn't go to jail, thank goodness. We're happy for that. this relationship has taken a series of different turns. She just got back from a trip to Birmingham, which is where she went after the incident, where she met a lawyer fella that she met online. A great basis for a relationship.
A lawyer she met online.
Online. Now, apparently, the stories that Miss Sarah gives seem to contradict each other also, because I'll tell you what she told me, or what she texted me while she was in bed with this said lawyer in Birmingham, because I was working in the middle of the night. And
she can multitask too.
And she said that he did his business and he went to sleep. And ain't that a bitch? He goes to sleep. Now, let's let Mr. Scott give the version that he got from her.
Well, Miss Sarah is very contradictory, as we said before. So I go to work, 2 nights following after her alleged cutting and beating incident. And she comes in glowing, happy, excited, smile on her face. She's cheesing. I'm like, what's going on, Sarah? You're in a good mood. I'm not used to this. Sarah's cheesing and she's excited. And, she's telling me, like Lou said, she went to Alabama, everything he said, this guy puts it down. But, the red light goes off for me when she says, I was asleep from the hours between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. Now, I'm thinking to myself, I'm putting myself in a situation. If I'm dating a girl for the first time, she's coming to see me. I put on this extravagant show inside of my dirty home, which she said was filthy. But outside of that, he had money. He has Armani suits in the closets. All the things that matter. And sleep from 10 to 3. Now, the first thing I'm thinking was roofie. Roofalin, the drug that puts you out cold. The date rape drug, if you will. And then her face changes because she hadn't even thought of that possibility. She said, well, when I woke up, he was asleep next to me, so I figured I did my thing.
Good Lord.
And I'm thinking, no, sweetheart. That could mean a multitude of things. You could be missing a kidney. He could have used any of your orifices as a bowl or a cup. He could have done anything to you. He could have took pictures of you. He could have called his boys. They could have had a party. And you would have known nothing about it because you were out cold from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m.
That's a good amount of time.
That's a great amount of time. And I'm telling you all this to tell you, she tells me about this great night. Everything was good. Blah, 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 blah. And then she goes into the next comment. And she starts talking about Matt. And I'm thinking, how do you talk about one man to the next, especially a man that you just beat up and cut? How do you go from one extreme to the other? And she says, I need to text him because he needs to make sure he's here to pick me up on time. And that just blowed my top. I'm sorry, maybe that's just me. But if a woman even calls my name wrong, you better be lucky I talk to you in the next few days, let alone come pick you up from work. And I don't know, give us some feedback. Wolf, how do you feel about that, man?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is he's obviously 10 times the man I am. If not only were you beaten in public, I'm guessing.
In public.
And cut. So
and police were everywhere.
Yeah, and police were everywhere. So she obviously walks around armed, or as they say, packing. If that was.
Oh, she regularly goes to the gun range.
Oh, she can shoot too.
Oh, yeah.
So now I understand why he came and picked her up.
With 4D
it makes sense now. He doesn't want to get killed. Me personally, I take the bullet. Yeah. I wouldn't pick her up.
At this point, I mean, I know, Lou. I think I can speak for you in this. Everybody is telling Sarah to cut bait. It's over with Matt. It's been over. The things that they go through, the way that they treat each other, the fact that you have to go to Alabama to get something that should be at your house.
Okay, I'm writing down these terminologies for the truly ignorant.
Wolf, whenever you feel necessary, stop us.
Okay,
what's the terminology?
We have 3, because nobody understands these words. Cheesing.
Cheesing.
I was understanding you ate it.
Cheesing is just another word for smiling big,
okay.
Smiling large. It's a very, very happy smile.
It's like another version of that, like they say, grill, something like that.
Well, yeah.
Oh, really?
That's a good
point. First time I've been correct in 33 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Truly told.
Yes, you're hearing it live.
And please believe this is not a character. This is Wolf Griffin in his entirety.
You learn every day. Ham. I mean, we're working on a sandwich here. We have cheesing, ham.
And pretty much what ham means is whatever you do, you're doing it to the extreme, to the highest level,
Okay.
to the maximum output. So if you're going ham, you're going hard. Nobody can stop you. You're just,
You know, because my first thought was it like short for like mayhem or something.
I can understand that, but
Okay.
no.
Gotcha.
Well, and to backtrack too, cheese is also a term for money.
It just depends on the context you use.
I'll be damned, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Including cheddar. You can even break down the cheese.
Oh yeah.
What is it with food? Oh, I mean, anyway, that's a whole different thing. And what was and the last one was what? Cut something you said? You told Sarah to cut bake.
Cut bake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cut bait.
Cut bake. I mean, is it all food?
Well, no. Cut bait is actually a terminology that came from fishing. When you're fishing with live bait
Gotcha.
and your worm dies, it's better to just cut him off your hook and get a fresh worm because he's not going to attract any fish.
I
So
see.
when I say cut bait in the relationship, it's over.
Gotcha.
Save yourself some time.
That's actually quite clever. I like that.
So yeah, we digress from our point. Pretty much, Sarah, we're praying for you. Lose Matt, stay out of Alabama, and find yourself some consistency because she's always preaching about how she wants a man in a relationship and she would be faithful if she had the right type of man. Well, how about you just cut the one you got and find the right type of man?
And pick the right one.
Yeah.
Do you think that this Matt is as good as you can do? The fact is, she's worth more than that,
Absolutely.
and as most women are. But unfortunately, they fall in love with, with looks. And I find that a lot of women today have almost the roles have switched, have flipped. Where I remember a day when, being 50 years old, I remember a day when women really didn't go after fellas for their looks. Okay, they understood that, okay, he's not the most handsome man in the world, but he takes care of me and he loves me.
Yes.
And that was more important. The shallow ones were the fellas.
Yep.
The fellas were the ones who went
Yeah.
looking for the Christine Brinkleys and for the Tyra Banks of the world, and we usually paid for it in the end.
Right.
But that's really what my purpose in speaking on Sarah and Matt is. I wish that more women today, and more younger women, I should say, would place more value in who they are and realize that they're worth better than how they're being treated. I tell my 3 daughters very simply, if he doesn't treat you as well as I do, drop him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So in summation, what we're saying, we're going to end this segment because it's been great, but we can go all day. We're going to say cut Matt and pick up Wolf.
Yes.
That's how we're going to go.
You can find many applications in your local grocery stores and
Because right now, unfortunately for us, me and Lou are taken off the market. But Wolf is a free agent, and he's trying to go to the Dallas Cowboys. So, with that being said, we're going to transition into our next topic, and we're going to talk politics because just as much as we like to have fun on this show, there are a lot of things that our people, and people in general, I'm not even going to say our people, Americans, we need to be aware of. And right now, we have our next election coming up, big election year. The president now, Barack Obama, he will be rerunning for his second term. I'm very excited about that. And as far as the Republican candidate is looking to be Mitt Romney.
absolutely.
Now, not even because it's Republicans, but I just feel like this is the worst campaign I've ever seen since I've been alive. I'm almost 30 years old. I've got to see a few decent administrations, Bill Clinton specifically. This doesn't even look like a competition to me.
It's not a competition. The idea with Republicans right now with the candidates, it's not necessarily they're choosing who they like the best. It's more of who they hate the least. Gingrich is a much better debater and has... Now, does he have a chance to beat Obama, Gingrich? Absolutely not. But he stands a better chance than Romney. The only reason Gingrich isn't winning because his lifestyle.
Romney
Santorum is like, who?
Yeah. There's a lot of losers, man.
All losers.
It's like you said, you pick your poison.
You have nothing but poison to choose from.
God.
Well, No, the last vice presidential nominee